Hey girl, hey, it's IFBB Wellness Pro Emily Smith
and NPC wellness competitor Elizabeth Sundin. Welcome back to the
Wellness Girlie Gang podcast. Hey girl, hey, it's your girl Emily and Elizabeth. We are going to start our first episode of the Wellness Girlie Gang podcast. We're so excited. All right, so today we're going to dive right into who we are, how we met, why we're starting this podcast, why we started bodybuilding, how we started bodybuilding, and our future. What's our next steps in bodybuilding and life, our husbands, our dogs, and everything in between. So we are just going to dive right in. We're going to start with Elizabeth.
Thanks, Emily. I'm Elizabeth Sundin, NPC wellness competitor, hoping to be a pro one day, just like Emily. 36, living in Virginia. I am a federal government employee, and hopefully I'll continue to be one. I've always been in sports growing up, so it's nice being an adult and being in a sport that there's other adults who enjoy the same things that I do. Now, let's turn the table and you introduce yourself.
Oh, I am Emily Smith. It's so weird saying Smith because I got married last year. I also got my pro card last year as well. I'm an IFBB Wellness Pro. I am also an online coach. I coach lifestyle clients, competition prep athletes, females only for that. And then my husband also coaches powerlifting athletes as well. I live in Winchester, Virginia. I am from Charlottesville, Virginia. So moved here about 4 or 5 years ago. And I have 2 dogs. I have 2 dogs. They are the loves of my lives. Dr. Pickles is a pug. Cayenne is a Beagle Golden. I played sports growing up, soccer since I was 8, and then got into volleyball and a little bit of track just for conditioning. I did not like drag.
I did
It's like
hurdles.
I tried hurdles, but I played soccer, so I couldn't mess up my knee. So I was like, I'm not going to sacrifice that for that because like soccer is my main sport. Volleyball, I got into volleyball. Did you play volleyball? You're tall. Basketball.
Everyone asks me if I played volleyball and they did not offer. I went to an all-girl high school. So you think that we would have volleyball, but I don't think we did and I never played. But everyone asks me that. Must be
Yeah,
these thick
tall.
thighs. No.
It's
And
something
tall.
like what they did was they walked around high school and like recruited all the tall girls in high school and they were like, "Can you play volleyball?" And the funny thing was like I wore heels sometimes because like you had to dress up for your
High school?
sports. Yeah, we had for home games you had to like dress up. Like I don't know, it was just like our thing to do.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I was like, I love wearing like heels. I was just like, I don't know, that girly girl. I was definitely very, very, very girly girl in high school. Could you tell? No.
Shocker. Shocker.
Right. And we both went to JMU, unbeknownst to us. Like
I know we did
what?
not know each other and only a year apart. Who knew?
Yeah, that was wild. Like, yeah, only a year apart. I graduated in 2010 and you were 2011, right?
Yes.
Both rushed sororities, or both were in sororities. So the like that we learned actually after the fact, after we met. I guess we should probably talk about how we met, right?
I want to get into how we met because
Yeah.
our past they could have crossed so many times. JMU, being in sororities, not the same sorority, but both in sororities. You were in Charlottesville, I'm in Richmond. How did our paths never ever cross until
Mhm.
November 2023? So should we get into how we met?
Yeah.
But actually, I never physically met you. This is why I love social media is because okay, so it was November 2023.
Mhm.
NPC Battle Royale in Alexandria. Emily is in the crowd. I have no idea who she is. My posing coach, Alexis, knows of Emily. So, of course, I'm messaging my posing coach, Alexis, during the show in November. And she said, "Oh, one of my athletes. You guys had the same coach, I believe."
Yeah, we were on the same team. We were coached by Nelson. Yep.
So Alexis shared your Instagram handle with me, and then you started sending me all of my videos and pictures. And I'm thinking in my head backstage, I don't even know this girl, and she's blowing me up. Like she's taking these you took better photos and videos than my husband. So, well, that's not surprising, but I'm just so thankful. Here, you don't even know me at all, and you're already supporting me 100%. I mean, this is why I love this sport for the women empowerment. I mean, you didn't know me at all, and here you're
Mhm.
congratulating me. And I won and got to go to nationals, but I had no idea that I was even going to place. I was just there, ignorant of what was going on. So you're there at the event. I don't think we even met each other, but
Mm-mm.
we instantly were talking to each other, and you're helping me prepare for nationals, talking through Instagram. And then we finally met in person January 2024 at the Victory Imposing at the shop gym. But
Mhm.
when we met, some of your girlfriends were there that I've never met. And they just seeing you and I interact thought we had known each other for years, but we
Yeah.
didn't. And I remember you were wearing your cute neon yellow sweatshirt jumpsuit
Yes,
thingy. It was
sweatsuit,
so cute.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that thing. But you and I had never met each other, and we just picked it up instantly. So it
Mhm.
just goes to show the connections that you get in bodybuilding. I mean, I felt
Yep.
so close to you, and I had never met you before. So I'm glad that
Yeah, that was
you
crazy.
were hitting me up at that November 2023 show. I still have those videos. Thank you.
I know. I was just like, "Oh my god, like, she's insane, like, she looks great," and I was like,
I had
"Isn't
no
that
idea.
Alexis Adams girl?" I was like, "Maybe I should take some photos," because, I mean, well, 1, like, I am always watching the shows and taking photos as a coach because I wanna
You are.
know what they're looking for in the division, but then also, I was competing too, so I was
Yeah, you
like,
were.
"Alright, I wanna see what, they're looking for." So, yeah, and,
Another
like
crossover you and I have is we both started in figure. So
yeah.
that's another thing that we have in common, and we didn't even know each other.
Mhm.
Um,
That was the first division that we both did.
yeah.
And then we crossed over to wellness because who doesn't want just big glutes? Like, I mean, come on.
Yes. We could also get into exactly who doesn't want it, big glutes, but competing for the body type that you have, and when you're training for your genetics, what muscles build more quickly than others. And at least for me, I knew after doing figure and not being able to do a lat spread, wellness was a little bit better. I did not know about wellness
Yeah.
until 2023. Um, I believe it started in 2020.
Mhm. Yeah, it came out when COVID hit, so it was just kinda
That's
like,
right.
it
That's right.
wasn't super, super popular. And it seemed to be like the mass monsters were like coming out, like Urishna and like all these people that you don't see anymore. And it
Yeah.
definitely streamlined. And it's kind of like, Fit Model too, right? How it's brand new, it's starting to look this way, but like, we just had a show a weekend ago and uh, all the Fit Model overalls like look completely different. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
In that
Yeah.
molding stage.
Mhm. Yeah, and, like, for me,
Yeah, yeah.
genetically, my family, if you, like, ask around the family, it's like, we have bigger hips and thighs. So it's like, "Okay, alright, maybe let's play to my genetics." Also,
Exactly.
like, injury-wise, I have um, surgery on my left shoulder, labrum repair, and it's just like sometimes just upper body stuff just like hurts. Like, yes, I have gone through this knee injury thing, which now it's fine. Like, I don't really have any pain, so that's great. But like, it really is working smarter and not harder. Like, bodybuilding and powerlifting are two totally different things, right? Like
Oh,
powerlifting, like
you can
you
tell me.
just like I mean, we'll talk about this because you have a competition
Yeah.
this Saturday. But, like, they're 2 totally different things and totally different trainings, and, bodybuilding is very purposeful. It's very, like, you don't if you don't need cap shoulders for your look, that's fit model, apparently they don't want cap shoulders, but, like, If you don't need striations, if you don't need X, Y, or Z, it's like, or if you don't need to be symmetrical, this is really wellness, right? If you don't need to be symmetrical, why are you training your upper body more than you're training your lower body? Like,
Mhm.
uh,
Exactly.
yeah.
So when you look at pictures of yourself in high school, college, do you think you had the wellness physique back then?
Oh, hell no.
Just structurally, yeah. Well, just I
No,
guess structurally with I guess the bigger hips and
no.
bigger
I was
legs?
H.
Okay.
Like, I mean, so like, I would say in middle school, I was very just small. Like I was just a very small person, very lean. Um, we ate a lot. I guess we didn't eat enough. I don't know.
With all the
It's
soccer.
not like I didn't eat. But then in high school, I did form more of an hourglass shape. So I did
Mhm.
um, and I
With
did do some
puberty.
modeling, and they were like, "Yeah, you're an hourglass shape." And I'm just like looking at myself. I'm like, not really hourglass. Because when you really think about the hourglass that you see in bodybuilding, that's like so dramatic, like that X frame. I mean, that's more bikini, that's more women's physique, that's more women's PD. Because wellness is like obviously big lower body, but like little, like I don't know, what do we call it, TP or something? We should call it TP frame.
I wonder what the NPC family, the Maniums would think of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, so yeah, we did figure. Now we're both doing wellness. How did you actually get into bodybuilding though? Like, because we talked about, growing up with sports, being in college. So now, like, post college, right?
College, at least for me, college was 2011, it ended for you 2010. Again, having that sports background, I wanted something to do post college. So I joined a running group, Knife Hands
Mm.
in DC. Then I
Nice.
transitioned
Like, dang.
to, yeah, that's
Did
what
you have
we
to
called
roll up your
ourselves as Knife
sleeves? You
Hands.
were like, so
You run
nice.
like this. You run with your hands together like knives
Like,
because we
chopping
were super
broccoli.
fast.
Nice. Wow.
Exactly.
Super.
With the little chef hat. Then that got boring. So I transitioned into CrossFit. Then I got into ultra marathon running, did 250 milers, then somehow transitioned into CrossFit slash bodybuilding training with one of my guy friends who we actually did 2-a-days together in DC, Chris
My
Saunders.
gosh.
Yeah, girl. We would do fasted cardio in the morning at 5:30 a.m. and then meet after work around 4:30 p.m. and do bodybuilding workout and then do a CrossFit 10 to 20-minute workout. And I look at my pictures back then and I was just skin and bones. Like here I thought
God.
I was building muscle, but I was not eating enough. I was doing too much cardio and yeah, I was doing bodybuilding movements, but I wasn't building any muscle. At the time, it's so funny how you look back and think, "Wow, I was skinny," but at the time, the body dysmorphia, I didn't think I was thin enough.
Oh,
So then fast forward, moved to Texas with my now husband, met a bodybuilding coach who got me into the figure bodybuilding.
first of all, body dysmorphia is like, I mean, it comes in every season, every journey. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are. It's like all the time. I'm like,
It's
my
always
butt's not
there.
big enough. My boobs aren't big enough. My waist isn't small enough. You know?
Even when you were stage lean, the night before show day, I still had body dysmorphia. And I know I'm not the
Mm-hmm.
only one out there. And I'm not promoting
Yeah.
it either, but it is good to talk about it because,
Mm-hmm.
especially as females, it can eat you alive. So,
Yeah.
again, another reason why it's very important to have girlfriends, guy friends who have
Mm-hmm.
been in bodybuilding and can understand it.
Like, just talking to your coach and
100%.
telling them like what you're going through. Are you having, imposter syndrome? Are you, like what are you feeling? Because the mental
100%.
thing is the biggest thing for fitness. Um, you know, I was definitely a cardio bunny also post college. Um, I again was just like I don't have that group anymore. I'm working. I'm mostly just working. I did start to go to the Gold's Gym, and I would go in the evenings. That's why I'm always a night owl. I'm just always an evening person. It was the
Yeah,
only
you
time
are.
I really had. I'm not gonna wake up in the morning and go, like, that's just not who I am. And I was just always an evening person, and I would go home, I would eat, like, half my dinner with my family, and then because obviously still living back at home after college, and then go to Gold's Gym, and then come back, finish that meal, and then usually go to bed. Not eating enough, but still training, like, I did do a lot of leg training, mostly legs. Um, Sometimes upper body, I just didn't know what to do too much with the upper body. Um, and then I didn't really get into group fitness until 2016. So it was like, 6 years after I graduated college. And I found BARRE. So it's like the ballet isometric movements. I thought that was really cool because it was a little bit different than like lifting weights, and it was a challenge. And I took a few of the classes, took enough classes where the owner wanted me to be a coach there. So that's how I kind of started my journey.
Ooh,
It's really been like people that just like see potential in me or believe in me, and then they give me that opportunity. And then I become a
that's
coach,
nice.
and then I worked in multiple group exercise companies, a metabolic, more like boot camp, like CrossFit boot camp, but without the barbells. So no barbells. It was all like hit style. We had water bags for boxing, which was really fun. We had like rowing ergs, ski ergs, bikes. They were all ergs, but you know what I mean. Kettlebells, dumbbells,
Right.
all that. I also started doing personal training then because I was like, all right, group training is
Mhm.
great. Group training also is a really good start for people that want to get into personal training because group training, honestly, you get paid a little bit more per session and you get to meet more people. And it's just hype. It's pretty hype. I joined the YMCA and I started doing group coaching there and personal training there. And then I also started coaching the homeschool kids in the area. They had a gym class that the YMCA offered. So I started leading that with another guy that was head of the director of the sports and recreation or something at
Very
YMCA.
busy.
I was busy. I mean, and I worked at FEI, a Federal Institute for Government Employees. I trained them at 6 a.m. I mean, and my shifts were
No, thank
horrible
you.
too. It's like 6 a.m., 9,
Ugh,
noon, 6 p.m. I have to
no,
be
thank
up
you.
all hours of the day. So that was like the beginning of my fitness career. And then another personal trainer at the YMCA, he was doing a bodybuilding competition and he was like 8 to 10 years older than me, so I was like, "Oh, you
Mm,
can do that," like, being
this is a
older.
thing?
Dang, I thought my time was up, you know? Now, when you're out of college, oh, you have something else you can do. You can actually strive for powerlifting competitions or bodybuilding competitions because bodybuilding goes up to 70, 75 plus or something like that, and
It
I
does.
don't even know with powerlifting how old. I think you can be 70 something plus
It
too.
there are 70-year-olds that do it. 75 I've
I
seen,
remember going to one
which
powerlifting
is
meet, and
up
this
there.
one old couple were so freaking cute. He had these cards for her Instagram for the woman who was lifting because she was a 74-year-old power lifter. I was like, "I'm following her.
Love it.
I am
I
following
love it.
love." Like, women support women, doesn't matter how old you
Inspiration.
are. But yeah, so, he got me into bodybuilding. I went to the local Jay Cutler show, and this was back in
Mhm.
19, I think, because I didn't start bodybuilding, or no, maybe it was 2018 or
Yep.
2019. Went to the Jay Cutler, then went to the Nationals in Pittsburgh, and so I went to both those shows, and I
Ooh,
was like, "Okay, I think I can do this. I think I can do this." Meanwhile, I already hired a bodybuilding coach. I already hired a bodybuilding coach. I started eating right, following a meal plan, started following a training plan, all of that, and that really kicked it off. So then I competed in
wow.
2021 in November in figure, and then took 3 years to grow and competed in 2024.
I want to hit on how important it is to find a good coach because in
Yeah.
my journey I did not hit the jackpot the first time I hired a coach. My first 2 coaches, they were just nutrition coaches, and I I looked great. I looked great, but walking around, I looked well, not stage lean, obviously, but I think I was malnourished, honestly. Looking at the amount of food I was eating, it was not enough. Now I understand why. I was just running circles around myself, working out way too much and not eating enough. So that's why I looked like skinny and no muscle at all. I don't regret having those 2 coaches because I learned how to eat a meal plan and how to cook my own food, but I am very thankful that I graduated from those first 2 coaches who I think seriously underfed me, and finally met my coach in Texas when my husband and I moved to Amarillo, Texas in actually April 2020, so a few weeks after COVID started. They did not believe in COVID in Texas, by the way, which worked in my favor because I met a married couple, Cami, who did my nutrition, and Lance, who worked out with me every single day. And I learned so much from Cami and Lance, both working out with him every single day. And then
Mhm.
Cami hand wrote with a pen and paper my nutrition plan. It was the cutest thing
Oh my
ever. But
gosh, old
whereas
school.
oh, they are the definition of old school, and all Lance and I would talk about was food and old school bodybuilding. And I just soaked all of that information up. So I have
Mhm.
them to thank for teaching me about bodybuilding. And they're the ones that pushed for me to do figure, which I loved, but realizing my body, I cannot do that lat spread. So we transitioned into wellness. Important to have a good coach who is not underfeeding you like my first 2 coaches were, and a coach like Cami and Lance who can just teach you everything that you need to know about
Mhm.
bodybuilding.
Especially when
But
you're new too. Like, because when we're
exactly.
new, we're soaking everything up like a sponge. Like, we're having this posing seminar next weekend, and there are some girls
Yes, we
coming that are
are.
new. I mean, we actually, it's like going to be sold out. Like, we're at
Ooh.
35 people, and we have a 40 cap max, I think. And it's exploding. We have so many girls, but like some of these girls, like, yeah, they're just going to soak it up as a sponge. They may be new. So yeah, especially when you're
That's
newer,
awesome.
and it's so funny because, like, I just think back of all my bodybuilding coaches, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that chicken, rice, and broccoli meal that they
Girl.
gave me, or that Ezekiel bread, tilapia, and
Girl.
green
Yep.
meal, or that, hold on, you want me to make pudding out of the protein powder, and that's all you want me to eat? That I can't remember. There's so many other meals that I was just like, no, 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 no.
Or going
Like,
days without carbs.
oh
No.
no, fuck no,
No. They're
no,
horrible.
no, no. No. I actually have never
Yeah.
had a coach program me like no carb meals. Actually, with Chris, I never had a no carb meal on prep.
And we're talking about just to specify, we're talking about lifestyle, not in prep.
No, this was in
Meal
prep.
plan. Okay, okay.
Yeah, this was both. But
Good, good.
um,
Yeah,
which was great. I could still eat. But the other thing was I came into prep with Chris depleted. I was already
too
too lean.
little.
Yeah, I was too lean,
Mm,
like, I needed to fill up a little bit more. But it really is important to pick a right coach, but also don't feel bad if you pick a coach and it doesn't work out, because
exactly.
there's a few things that go on, right? Because I've had so many coaches, and it's not to say that I'm coach hopping. It's not saying that, like, oh, this coach is better. I need this coach because their name brand or what they sell. No, really, it's how you click with them and connect with them, and how do they listen to you? Is it a partnership? Do they give you food that you actually enjoy? Are they listening to your hormones, your
Very
everything, your
important.
mental health? And the thing is, like, I didn't know all this before when I was a coach too, right? But now it's much more important, especially if you're a coach in bodybuilding, if you're prepping people to have that gut health, hormone health, just know how to peak people properly, refeed them properly, and there's supplements and everything else that goes into it. But just know that, like, every coach, just like you, started somewhere. I saw a post the other day that was give grace to your coach, and also, like, respect that relationship. We're humans too. I'm a human. I have
Exactly.
flaws, but I also am willing to learn and willing to get better. That's one thing that I believe in as a coach, as a human being, that like I will always try to make the systems better. I will buy a new app. I will upload 100 of my clients into that new app and take days to do it if I have to, if that makes it better for my clients. A coach needs to want that and want to be better and want you to be better.
I think my coach knows more about me than my actual husband. And I'm fine
Yep.
with that because I
Mhm.
want my coach to know everything that's going on with me,
Yeah.
physically, emotionally, because if I don't tell her what's going on, how's she going to help me? It takes two to tango here. So very important to communicate with your coach too. Like the first two coaches I've ever had in my life who I strongly believe were underfeeding me, I never communicated to them that I'm starving, I'm tired, I'm
Yeah.
dizzy when I stand up. I should have, but I liked the way I was looking. Looking back, I was losing muscle. So it's very
Mhm.
important to communicate with your coach too. And the hormones, ooh, we should get into that for another podcast on
Yeah,
how
that's
important
another
they are.
podcast. And even coach like, talking about coaches and picking coaches, that could even be another episode as well.
100%.
Okay, so lastly, we'll talk about our future goals. What about you, Elizabeth?
Well, a very short-term goal is tomorrow. Well, we're recording this on May 2nd, and May 3rd, tomorrow, I am doing a Powerlifting America powerlifting meet, which is local here in Richmond. And one of my girlfriends, Tiffany, this will be her first ever powerlifting meet. This girl started
So
working out.
too.
She started at the gym, I think January 2023. Homegirl can do a 400-pound squat at least, and Homegirl can do at least a 400-pound deadlift. The
Oh my
goal
god,
is for her to get 1,000 pounds total. I am
let's
so
go.
excited. I think this will be like my third or fourth. I think this will be my fourth powerlifting meet. So it's not my first one. I selfishly
Mhm.
wanted to be backstage with her. So I signed up for it and I'm going to do it. My goal, I'm not trying to be a hero because I've learned during this process that I enjoy bodybuilding training a lot more than powerlifting. But I am very excited. Of course, I'm going to give it my all. Goal
Mhm.
is 9 for 9 white lights. But other
Let's
than that, long term goal, my
going
feedback
for
from
that
that,
bar, don't slam it down.
yes, ma'am. I
I
will
remember
not
that
let
one
go.
video.
I was so mad. That was 413 deadlift, and
Oh
I
my god.
dropped it on the second attempt. I don't know why. I blacked out. And so I had to do it again. Thank goodness I did.
Oh
And I
my
put that thing
god.
down as slow as I could.
And then you were, like, looking at him like, "Am I good?"
Oh, I made eye contact with that head judge. I made sure I put that bar down so gently, but it passed. Got a state record. Well, Virginia state record. But
Let's go.
long-term goal is to build glutes and hamstrings. That was my feedback from nationals if I want
Mhm.
to be more competitive. So I enjoy doing what, 3 leg days a week? I enjoy it. I love it. Come at me, hammies and glutes. Let's grow.
Come
But
at
what
me.
come at me.
I love it.
So, what are your future goals? Are we going to see a pro debut in the coming year from you, Miss Pro?
Uh,
What are we going to see?
not this
I
year,
will be right
2020.
there.
My god, yeah, not
Okay.
this year, but,
I'm going to be
hopefully
front
next
row.
year. We definitely gotta put on some size. I had a knee injury a few months ago, and we're finally back. We're finally back to it. Leg extensions are still the most difficult thing, which if you saw my story yesterday, which of course was like 15 pounds, single leg extensions. And I just have to like watch the range of motion there and just, I'm really activating it.
How have you, Emily, been able to train around your injuries?
Really purposeful. That's why I said before, bodybuilding is just very purposeful. Especially if you get to the point where I'm at, where, okay, I am a pro. Obviously, I have the
Mhm.
criteria that meets the requirement to be a wellness pro. Now I need to compete as a pro and show up and not like embarrass myself. So for me, I need to grow a ton of glutes. I mean, just size everywhere and mostly lower body
Mhm.
because again, we're asymmetrical. It's being really smart. So I started just training myself because at the time, long story short, my coach couldn't program for me. So I just started doing my own. I just started just taking it easy. Glutes are my focus. I'm just going to work on how can I grow my glutes without really affecting my knee. So the knee issue really for me was anything hack squats, anything front foot elevated, lunges on the Smith machine. Those things I did relentlessly for months, hard, hardcore. I just had to take those movements out because it was just too much. I basically had knee tendonitis, and now it's just working smarter, not harder. I don't have to lift heavy, 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 heavy weight all the time. It's more focused on the contraction. Are you getting the contraction? Are you getting the squeeze? Are you getting the stretch? And just making sure my pain is limited.
This is
Yeah.
why I enjoy bodybuilding training more than powerlifting because it's about the slow, controlled, how do you move the
Yeah.
weight, not how much can you move. Would you send form videos to your coach?
He did require form videos in the beginning, and then he saw like how intensely I train, and he was like, okay, you're good, don't send me any more videos. When I was injured, there was none of that communication, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And like we were talking about coaches before, that opened up an opportunity for another coach, a friend of mine, to take over my coaching for me because he understands my frustration. I was just frustrated. I was honestly at a very low point. I
Mhm.
felt fat. I felt like I wasn't following my meal plan. I was just eating whatever. I wasn't eating too. The other thing was I was
Um,
very stressed with my work. I was eating
Everyone
like
needs to
3.
know Emily was not fat. She just thinks that she was and playing into the
Yeah.
body dysmorphia. But even though
Oh, yeah,
you were
that's
not.
probably just
I want to clarify.
yeah. I'm
Okay,
like
go
I
ahead.
was saying that I was fat, but I was eating like 3 meals a day. So it wasn't fat. But I also wasn't going to the gym, so that's what made me feel like I was fat, right? I wasn't going to the gym. My mental health like went down at that point. I was like, I don't even want to go.
Yeah.
When that started to kick in, that was like, that's not me. That's not
Yeah.
me. I want to go to the gym. I do like to work out. I have some girls ask, maybe I'm not training intense enough. Like, how do I know if I'm training hard enough? Or like, you have to feel that burn, right? And you have to get comfortable with that burn. That's the difference, I think, to me, between bodybuilding and powerlifting is powerlifting, you're moving a weight, you're moving it from A to B. Bodybuilding, you are feeling the contraction and
Love it.
controlling the weight, and it should burn. It should
I love
hurt.
that
It's
burn.
like
Yes.
it's if you're doing it and you're feeling that burn and you love it, like you love that grind, you almost that pain, you love a little bit of that pain. If you're training hard enough, you're feeling that burn. It's not you should be feeling it and you should be pushing past it. Not pain, not pain, but the burn, that like sensation.
Mhm. And
Um,
and and
yeah.
that's okay. It's unfortunate you felt that way. You were hitting a low point in your life, but it's okay to have those stages of emotions throughout your bodybuilding journey. We've all been through it. Whether you're
Mhm.
lifestyle, prep, in season, or off season, you need to do it because you love it. And so I'm glad that you found, of course, you were always in love with it, but I'm glad that you are now with a coach who can better understand how you're feeling and find a training program that works for you. Thank goodness. And
Mhm.
you want to go to the gym now.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. I wanna go to the gym, and my husband also goes to the gym, and that's our thing. We met at a gym. That was our thing. Every time that we went to go see each other, we went to the gym, we ate our food, we meal prepped our food the next day. That was our thing. It's not just to be like, bodybuilding's my life. It's just my lifestyle. Like, it's just how I choose to live life, and it makes me feel good. I would rather feel like this than 2016, 2018, my first, beginning phases of bodybuilding when I had a distended stomach and I just felt not great. But yeah, it's okay to have those moments. But it's also good to like have that reality check to be, hey, like this isn't typically me. Like I want to get back to being me and
Mhm.
having a good coach that you can just be honest with and then the coach should just be like, okay, yeah, I can work with that. Right. I just want to thank Kyle so much for that because it's a partnership. Like the other day, I said, hey, can I add in these glute focused RDLs in my upper body day because I have a little bit more time on those days? He's like, yeah. I sent him a video. He said, these are perfect. Right. And so that's what you should do. Like, hey, can I do this? Like, I tried this. It felt really good. Show me a video. Right. Show me a video, show me examples. Not like, hey, I saw this on TikTok and every girl's
Mhm.
doing it. No.
Mhm.
There's a little why to it, right? But I wasn't lost, but it was nice that like I'm heard and I'm listened to and that like I'm understood and A coach always needs a coach. I'm still an athlete too, so I need a coach. I could coach myself. And like I said, I was just kind of like in a hole. I needed someone to hold myself more accountable, and then I needed just more direction. And I appreciate Kyle so much because he also mentors me on my girls, my athletes as well. If I have a case that I'm like, hey, like this is what I'm thinking, this is what's going on. Would you do the same thing? Or what do you think? Right. And I think that's really important too when you're looking at a coach is who's in their community, who's in their network, who's in their support system that can elevate them too, right? Like Theana, she is my co-host for the seminars and she's amazing. She was my client way back when and she had such a way with her posing that was so captivating. I was like, "Hey, do you want to do this with me together?" We made a partnership. We started the posing seminar and then here we are, right? I have you and we're doing this awesome podcast and you're doing great things and you're uplifting girls. Every time that you come to an event, you're bringing all your girls. You're just like
So,
girls girl that's just
yeah.
like, "Come on, let's go. Come out."
When I first started bodybuilding, I had more power. Well, first off, I had tons of CrossFit. Well, running friends, then CrossFit friends, then powerlifting friends. I did not
Mhm.
have many bodybuilding friends, but it doesn't
Mhm.
matter what you're doing. We're all out there to compete,
Yeah.
make ourselves better, and be
Mhm.
healthy humans.
Yeah.
But do you want to get into why you wanted to start this podcast?
I wanted to start this podcast. I don't even know. I feel like it was 4 years ago. I would wanted to share more about, of course, our fitness journeys. We're both wellness competitors, and Elizabeth's on her road to pro. So that's a really exciting time. I almost wish we started this podcast last year, right, on my road
Oh,
to
I
pro, so that we
know.
can kind
I
of
know.
talk through everything. But we can always, reminisce and go back.
Let's plug in
But
for
yeah,
your posing seminar.
yeah, yeah. So posing seminar is coming up next Saturday, so that's exciting.
May
When
10th.
this podcast comes out, it will be Monday, so it will be that Saturday at Vintage Iron Gym in Winchester, Virginia. We're gonna start at 10 a.m. The women's session is basically full, but the men's, you guys can
Woo!
still register because we still need a few more men to show up. But we did get a good amount recently, so that's really exciting. But yeah, so we're going to talk about, our off season, our prep, everything going on. Obviously I'm in my off season this year, and then we might get into prep next year. Same thing with Elizabeth. We're both in our
Yes.
off seasons, and then we might get into prep next year. TBD, we'll keep you all posted with that. But also my athletes too. I had my first fit model athlete compete last
Yeah.
Saturday, and she got first in novice and first in true
God, that's
novice and second in the
amazing.
open. She freaking killed it. She literally, this was her first
Amazing.
show ever. She just
Wow.
graduated from college and going into medical school.
Ah,
She is a rock star. She's also 3 weeks out from her first bikini show. So her
ooh.
goal was to do bikini. End goal is bikini. Obviously, everyone wants a sparkly suit, but we decided to test our luck in fit model just because it was a new division. There's a lot of hype going around. She is very small in her structure and shape. So she did fit the criteria very well. I think we could bring a little bit fuller look if she wants to do fit model again, but we're going to decide after the bikini show if she wants to do bikini or fit model. Cause I
Mm.
think she wants a division where she can compete in and possibly, do medical school. Maybe it's like over the summer, she could maybe like compete, something like that, where she can still maintain like a healthy lifestyle. The training may have to cut down a little bit. So she still has a really good size.
She looks
So we'll see.
amazing. Mhm.
Yeah, she looks really good. I
She
mean,
does.
we gave her a high day yesterday and her lines are
Ooh.
super crisp and tight
Oof.
and
Love
looks
it.
she just looks awesome.
She
So yeah,
does.
we're going to talk about my clients. I also have another client. She is 12 weeks out for fit model.
Ooh.
And then we have some other girlies competing and then life in between. Gosh, I feel like just this month is just getting so busy
It is.
already. And then really we're going to interview some other fitness
Influencers.
influencers, yeah, industry experts, competitors, maybe some other coaches, some judges, maybe therapists, Thea, as well as other females in the bodybuilding industry. We even may get some males on here too. It may not be just all female oriented.
Get our husbands on.
Yeah, right. Get our husbands on, our powerlifting husbands. Well, yours is a strong man,
Yeah.
right?
It's absurd on how
Whole
strong
another
he is.
world.
He and Brad, these men are so strong. It's crazy.
If we get them on a podcast, we're going to start talking about cars or something.
We're here for him.
But yeah, that's basically us and our journeys. And we're excited to just share this all with you all. We have a ton of podcast ideas and topics, but if you have any ideas or topics in mind that you want to hear from us, make sure to leave us a comment and or send us a DM.
Thank you for joining us on our first podcast episode.
Until next time, bye.
Bye.